Hi, welcome to the Faith and Wellness Sister. Today I'm doing a lower body workout and I'm using my 17 kilogram set of dumbbells. I'm also using my 7 kilogram set of dumbbells. So I'm doing a unilateral lower body workout this week that I thought I would share with you guys because I have been enjoying it so much over the last few weeks. It is a Caroline Gervin workout that I recently discovered. I do believe that it's one that she did a few years ago, but I've just recently started doing it. I don't know how I missed it, but I have been enjoying it so much. So I thought that I would share it with you guys. So, a unilateral lower body workout basically consists of doing a workout, an exercise on one leg, and then doing that same exercise on the other leg. And then with this particular one, and then I'm doing two different versions or slightly modified versions of that first exercise, and then I am going into a staple. So Caroline Gervin does have staples in her workouts, which are basically the same workout done every three workouts. So three workouts are different variations of a lower body workout, and then you do the staple and then the same thing and then the staple. And what I love about having a staple in a workout is that it just brings you to the present. It helps you to refocus again. So for me, I love it. It is repetitive. A lot of workouts are going to be repetitions. And like I've said to you guys before, for me, possibly over a period of a year, I probably only do about 15 to 20 different workouts. I pretty much do the same workouts for most of the time. So I started off with a reverse lunge, which I prefer to a static lunge just because I feel like when I bring my legs together, I can get a little bit of a break. So this workout is 40 seconds of work and 20 seconds of rest. I am taking longer breaks if I need to, depending on the complexity of the movement, depending on the weights that I'm using. If I'm using my heavier weights, which I'm doing with the static lunge, I may need a slightly longer rest because ultimately, for me, how I look at it is I want to get back stronger for my next workout or for my next exercise. I don't want to cut corners because I am still tired and haven't properly caught my breath. So these are my 17 kilogram weights, the 17 kilogram set, and that is what I use for most of this workout. And I absolutely love it. Like I've mentioned before, I do find with lower body, I can use much heavier than what I can for my upper body, just because your lower body muscles are bigger and mine have become stronger over time. They are not the strongest that they can be, but they are certainly not where they used to be. And for me, little bits of progress are everything. You would have seen my son just walked in there. He was asking me if he can have a treat after his breakfast, and then he walked out again. And then I am now doing a kneel to squat, which is an exercise that is so challenging. I feel it in my quads, I feel it in my glutes, and I absolutely love it. I love how this exercise makes me feel. And whenever I'm doing a workout, whenever I'm doing an exercise, I do try and focus on mind to muscle connection, which is basically just, well, I mean, I have no idea what the scientific reason for it would be, but what it means to me is I'm just focused on working that muscle, getting as much of a stretch as I possibly can for it for that moment. And then so whatever I do on one side, I will repeat on the other side. So it's important to obviously keep track of which you start with. I will generally start with my left leg just because my left leg, even my left arm. I literally cannot flex my left arm at all. But the left side of my body just seems to have always been weaker than my right. I possibly should go and get that checked out when the time comes, but I often start with the side of my body. So I start with my left leg, and then proceed to my right, because it is stronger, and I do like to finish off strong. And I think that if I started with my right, I might get tired and then not give my best to my left, which is my weaker side already. So it takes more effort to do the movement as it is. So yeah, and then I do my break, and then my daughter popped her head in to say something. So that's the thing. So I actually did this workout, just to give you guys a bit of background. I did this workout on a Saturday morning. On a Saturday morning, um, my son and I are usually up early because he has dancing. But this particular Saturday, he didn't go. So I was able to squeeze in a quick workout, which rounded off my week on 5 days of workouts as opposed to four, which was quite nice. Like I've mentioned before, I usually do 3 to 5 days of work of strength training, and thoroughly enjoy it and feel good when I do a minimum of three and a maximum of five. I do not exceed five most weeks, just because I do need my rest days to recover and allow my muscles to recover. And I know that one day is sufficient, but for me, 5 days is quite plenty. Not to say that I never do six, but it really is an anomaly for me. And then I also just wanted to share a little testimony that took place for me a few weeks ago. So I'd say about a month ago, I was just going through a little bit of a slump where I just felt like God wasn't listening to me, or maybe not that God wasn't listening to me, but that I wasn't really feeling the hand of God on my life. And I didn't feel like God could see my struggles. I felt like God hadn't been answering my prayers for a long time. um, myself and my husband, and actually as a family, we've been praying for something for a couple of years now. And I mean, I would go as far as to say that we've been praying for it for about 3, 4 years. So, and I feel like some of the decisions that I personally have made in that time, where I felt like I felt the Holy Spirit say, go ahead, or I felt the nudge of God and felt like I'd gotten confirmation, and then things just fell through. So I just felt like, God, are you seeing me? Please answer me. And whenever I ask that question, God always shows up. And so I'm so very grateful for that. But yeah, so this time around, I was just like, God, I need to feel like you seeing me. I need to feel your presence, and I need to just feel like I'm on the right path with my life, with my purpose, with where you want me to be, where I can make impact, where I can add value. Like I feel like at 40 years old, I am literally starting my life over, or have been on a journey of starting over since I turned 38. So, I am where I am now. I do feel like this is where God wants me right now, but it's not where I imagined I would be. So that was my little prayer. And we had cell group, the one week, or when I was going through this. And I remember our cell leader just kind of prayed that I would be able to hear God more clearly in my life. And so, yeah, and that's all it was. It was just, God, I want to hear you more clearly. I want to just feel that you're present in my life where I am at this point in time. And yeah, and then a couple of weeks ago, I got a little recognition award at work. And it just meant so much to me, because that was really the confirmation I needed, that I see you, I've got you, and I'm walking this journey with you, and I will see you through. So yeah, like that really meant a lot to me. And I have felt just God kind of be like, this is where I feel you can add value right now. So I'm so grateful for that. And God doesn't always answer the way that we want Him to, but He also doesn't always answer the question that we ask specifically. And for me, that's all the confirmation that I needed. And I really felt it in my spirit that that was because I had brought that prayer forth to God. So, yeah, and I hope that that encourages you. More than anything, I felt that I needed to share that because sometimes just because you know that God is walking with you, it doesn't mean you're not going to have moments where you feel a little bit lost, where you don't necessarily see it with your naked eye, where you're looking at your life and you don't see, the vision that maybe you had for your life. And perhaps the vision you had for your life is not the vision that God has and the plans that God has for your life. But you're like, okay, so I'm on this and I'm trusting you, but is this where you want me to be? And it was just good to feel like God was like, yes, I see you, and you're having the impact that I want you to have, and all things are working together for your good. Just that confirmation. So, really, it's okay to ask God those questions. It doesn't mean that you've fallen off the faith wagon. Remember, God wants more than anything a relationship with you. So, even if this was just a friendship, and you reached out to your friend to say, hey, haven't, like, I just haven't felt like we've connected in a while. Is everything okay? That doesn't mean, your friendship's now not what it used to be, or that something's wrong with it. It's okay to ask those questions. And I feel like when we ask those questions, truly seeking God in certain circumstances, God just comes through and he is able to show himself to you in that way. And for some people, it may not have come. This what happened may have not answered that question, and they may not have seen it that way. But for me, I felt it so strongly in my spirit that that was from God, and that was God just speaking to me about what I had asked him just a few short weeks before that. So anyway, I hope that that encourages you in whatever you might be going through. So just to continue with the workout, I'm having a little bit of a break here, and I am doing my staggered RDL. Love these. They are hectic. They really, really are so hard on the legs, but you do see a lot of gains and a lot of growth doing them. So really enjoy them. And yeah, and another thing I wanted to say was, like doing this workout on a Saturday morning, everyone's awake and moving around, and quite a few interruptions. And I think it's so easy to get to a point where you're like, okay, am I stealing time away from my family by doing this workout? But honestly, this workout's only about 30 minutes long. So it's fairly short. And you should be able to take 30 minutes to pour into yourself so that you're able to better love on those that God has entrusted to you. So I think that that's really important. I think that as mothers, we can so easily um, be overwhelmed by guilt when we take time to do little things that don't seem to benefit anyone else. But if this is what it takes to be able to have a beautiful day with my family, then really 30 minutes is nothing, right? Yeah, so this is the unilateral workout that I am doing. And guys, I was dripping sweat with this workout, literally dripping sweat. I mean, it was a warm day, and this was fairly early morning, so say 8:30 in the morning, and it was already like at least 27 degrees. So it was really, really hot. Could be exaggerating there on the 27 degrees, so don't come at me, but it was really, really hot. And I mean, halfway in on that afternoon, we actually ended up swimming. I ended up swimming with the kids just because it was that hot. And I enjoy a swim every now and then, but it has to be boiling hot. I mean, I can't believe that I actually did swimming at school and did water polo and all of those water sports because I'm just too lazy to get into a pool now as an adult. I don't know why, just lazy. And then here I'm doing an RDL to a reverse lunge, which is also really good. Taking my little break and back at my reverse lunge here, which is the staple. And the biggest thing for me with a reverse lunge is honestly just to get my balance right, because I feel like it's such an easy exercise to slip up on and seriously injure yourself. So just get your balance right when you rise up, and your balance right when you go down into your lunge. But yeah, and I hope you guys will try this out. Look it up on Caroline Girvan's workout programs and try it out, because it really, really is good. Again, I am just dripping sweat, you guys, because it's a sweaty one. It's a sweaty lower body. It really felt like I was doing cardio. With just them, with how much I was sweating. But yeah, it really, really is good and really, really feels good. And I am, after any lower body workouts, hey, I really feel it for at least a day or so after. So sometimes I do like to take my 1 day rest after the first lower body workout of that week, just because I feel like I really need it. So I did this workout last week, Saturday, but last week I actually only did 4 workouts. So I took my rest on the Wednesday. Excuse my neighbors' dogs that are barking. So I took my rest on the Wednesday because I just really felt like I needed it. And I had done a lower body on the Tuesday. So I usually do full, lower, full, lower, full if I'm going to do 5 days. If I'm only going to do 4 days, I may only do one lower body, because I do feel like the rest of my muscles also need to be worked on. And I think I've also previously just shared on why I think that it's good to kind of involve more of your, it's better. I find it better to do more full body workouts if I'm limited on the number of days. So if I'm only doing 3 days of strength training, I would rather make all those 3 days full body. That way, my lower body gets a little bit of attention. My back gets a bit of attention. My shoulders get a bit of attention. Mentioned before, I don't really do a lot of ab workouts, because, yeah, like I just include the core wherever I can, but I don't do core specifically. I just don't know if that's really necessary for me. Um, Also, I've never been one that was trying to get a six pack or anything like that. I just want a strong core to be able to do the other workouts that I need to do. So yeah, like that's basically it, you guys. I don't have anything else that I would like to mention here. I just so here I am doing a what is this called again? A staggered squat. Yeah, so it's basically balancing on one leg there. All of the work is basically being done by the foot that's flat on the ground, and the other one is just for balance. So I do find this also quite challenging, but I do use my lighter um, dumbbell just because of the amount of arm engagement that's needed to properly execute this workout. And then I just swap over to the next leg. And yeah, so that's basically it. You guys are welcome to watch the rest of the workouts. You can post any questions that you might have, and I hope that you will try it out. I hope that this video has been encouraging to you. And again, my biggest thing is that if I had always aimed to be perfect at strength training before I started strength training, I never would have started. I wouldn't be enjoying some of the huge benefits that I've seen since I started strength training. And, more than the physical benefits, more than how toned I feel like my body has become, and just how happy I am with where I am physically. I'm so blessed, and I'm so grateful to God that I discovered strength training for what it does for me mentally, for that mental strength and um, that mental stamina that I've now got. Most mornings, guys, I look forward to my strength trainings. And on the days that I don't, I allow myself to do it because I know that mentally I'm going to feel so good after. So I hope that you're encouraged to just start, and you don't have to start with tons of weights. literally, this is all the weights that I use most often. And I do have like lighter 2 kilogram weights that I started off with that I still use for the more challenging upper body workouts. Like I've mentioned before, my upper body is not nearly as strong as what it could be, but it's pretty much 100% stronger than what it used to be. So that's also really, really great. I've always had like a toned upper body, I think, because of my water polo days and my swimming days, like just especially my upper shoulders. But I feel like with strength training, there's been a lot more definition in my arms as well, which has been so great to see. Guys, start strength training as soon as you can, whether you're 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 or 70 or 80, you will your body will thank you for it, because just having a little bit of muscle in your body is so important, for how we move through the world and how we move as we age. So have a wonderful day. I hope that you've enjoyed this video.